Have you ever searched on Google how to draw a house plan in ArchiCAD? Well, me too, but even after watching some videos, my walls didn't connect. My rooms were too small. I got just confused. But in today's video, I will show you how I designed my first 2-bedroom house in ArchiCAD step by step, and I'll fix every mistake beginners like us usually make. And by the end of this video, you'll draw your first floor plan in ArchiCAD, which is clean, clear, and correct. Why do my rooms feel too small when I print them? Well, that's because ArchiCAD might be using millimeters or the wrong scale, so everything looks tiny even if it's not. Navigate to options on your ArchiCAD, which is found on the top part of your screen. Move down to project preference and click on working units. We are going to change our units from millimeters to meters. Then we'll ensure that our decimal is at 2 decimal places. Equally for area, we'll make sure it's at square meter and decimal should be on 2 decimal places. For the volume, cubic meter and decimal 2 decimal places. And equally for our layout unit, we should make sure we change it to meters and decimal should be to 2 decimal places. Once done, click OK. To make our conception easy, we are going to set our grid lines. So navigate to the right part of your screen and with your mouse try to drag out this so we see it visible. Close the design tab and move down to documents. Click on the line tool, navigate to your top bar and click on the rectangle. The plot size we'll use for this project is 18.3 meters by 18.3 meters. Nice. So you're just going to click on anywhere on the screen and you're going to type in 18.3 meters. Then you tap on your keyboard and you press in 18.3 meters. Then you press enter. Our plot size has been formed. The next thing is we are going to activate our grid so we can be able to draw effectively. So click on the grid element under documents and move to the first point on your rectangle and draw down the grid element. So as you can see, it's labeled A. Double click on the grid element and choose the move tool, which is this, and make sure this is moving horizontally and type in 1 meter. We are just going to space the grid element by 3 meters. So click on the grid element, right click, move, and click on drag a copy. So drag a copy, you type in 3.8 meters. You are going to repeat the same procedure, but this time you are going to put in 1.6 meters. Click again on the grid element and drag a copy. You are going to repeat this by 3.2 meters. Press enter. Then finally repeat the same procedure, drag a copy and we are going to put it in by 1.2 meters. Then select all your grid element by hovering over the grid element and drag 3 meters in. We are equally going to create vertical grid, so navigate to the grid element, which is this, change the numbering system to 1 2 3 and start at 1. Press enter. Then you are going to navigate to the first point here and just draw your first grid across this way. Then you are going to click on the grid element and drag in 4 meters. So after 4 meters, copy the grid again and drag in 3.2 meters. Repeat the same procedure and drag in 1.2 meters. The same procedure and drag in 3.2 meters. The same procedure and drag in 2.2 meters. And finally, drag in 1.5 meters. We have formed the grid. We are just going to label back the axis. So here is 1. We are just going to click on the grid element and navigate here and change it to 2. The same, you click on the third one, navigate and change it to 3. Here to B. Then we click here and change it to C. And finally here E. Now we are building with real sizes like a real architect. Well, on my first time using ArchiCAD, I drew some walls and they didn't connect. But today we are going to draw walls perfectly step by step. Navigate to design on the left part of your screen. Click on the wall tool and we are going to see here geometry and positioning. So under there, we are going to change our walls to simple basic walls, which is the first part here. And we are going to type in the thickness of the wall 0.20, which is 20 centimeters. And we are just going to click OK. Start drawing our walls. We are going to move to the reference location at the top part of our screen. And we are going to change from outside face to center. We are going to navigate to the first point. We are going to start at the grid point 1 6 and we'll draw across. So we'll just draw directly with the grids without any stress. You can zoom in, you see that we are drawing easily. We are just going to trace out the walls on the grid completely and cut out what we don't need later. Now all walls are connected, clean and no gaps. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to cut out the spaces we don't need. So we are going to start by cutting the wall on axis 4, and we are going to cut this other wall. So we just cut out the walls. So here will be our parlor and here will be our balcony. We are going to trim this wall equally. This space will be our kitchen and this space will be our dining. We are equally going to trim this space and this space, and this, and this. For a good workflow, we have to move from parlor to dining to kitchen. So we have our parlor here to our dining to our kitchen, and the kitchen should have an exterior veranda, and equally the parlor should have an exterior veranda. We have 2 rooms associated with 1 toilet with an entrance in front of the rooms. At first, my plan looked okay, but I didn't know which room was which. So I used the text tool to name my rooms. And to do that, we navigate to documents, we move down to text, which is written A here, and we click on it. Then we're just going to navigate to our drawing board, which is this space, and create a space where we are going to type in. So I'm going to type in parlor. I will copy it and keep at the center. I'm going to repeat the command, clicking on text, and we draw a rectangle here. We type in kitchen. We repeat the same tool here. We type in dining, the same command here, and we type in boys room, and here we type in girls room. Oh, we made a mistake on boys room. We are supposed to put an apostrophe here. Then on toilet we type in WC, and here we type in balcony. Then I knew what each space represents, whether it was the parlor or the room or the kitchen. But what I didn't know was the sizes of each space, and this is how I did it. I navigated to fill command. Under the construction method, I activated show area text, which was very important, and I wanted the lettering to be black. Then I equally choose how I'm going to fill the room. I preferred it to be airspace, so I didn't want to see anything filled inside the room. Then I clicked on OK. Then I used the fill command and filled each area of the house. So from here at the edge of the parlor, I clicked this way and I pressed enter, and it gave me the square area of the parlor, which is 27.040 meters square. I did the same for the kitchen, which I had 14.7 meters square. I did the same for the dining, which was 9.6 meters square, very big. I did the same for the room, which I was expecting 9 meters square, and I had 17.64 for boys room, which I had 15.12 toilet. So these dimensions were good enough for me to know that this project is great. One thing I had to do was the text were a little bit off the table, so I had to click on the text and readjust. So I prefer the text to be where it will be visible, so I clicked on the text and I readjusted. Maybe I keep my dimensions directly below the label. So for the balcony, I just had to go to fill, and now remember the balcony moves right up to the exterior wall outside, so we're going to put it this way. So our balcony is 5.7. Then I knew which space was for what and how big it was. I lost my plan once. It was all gone and my laptop shut down. So let's avoid that forever. Press Ctrl S on your keyboard. Choose a file location for your project. I'm going to save mine under desktop, and right click and create a folder where I'm going to place it inside, and the name of the folder is like. Then I'm going to click inside like. I'm going to save the project name as I love my audience. Then I'm just going to click on save. So you have your project which has been saved as I love my audience in the top left hand of your screen. Now you haven't lost your wall. And when I was at this point, I was grieved. My walls all looked unprofessional. Let's use colors and lines to make it appear better. To do that, click on designs, then click on walls. On your keyboard, you're going to press Ctrl A to select all the walls. Then you're going to double click on the walls and to move down to floor plan and sections. Under floor plans and sections, you're going to move to cut surfaces, cut line with pen. We are going to give it a color green pens. Then we are going to navigate to override cut fill pens. Then on the drop down menu here, you are going to choose for background. Then on the drop down menu here, you are going to choose for both. Cut fill background with pen, you are going to choose the first black here, and down here you are going to equally choose black. Navigate down to our outlines here. Under uncut line pen, choose green, and under the wall end lines here, choose both. Once done, click on OK. When I arrived at this point, I was so confused and I was like, what the hell is this? I forgot one thing. Line thickness. And to be able to arrange our line thickness, you navigate to options. On the top left hand of your screen. Click on element attributes and move down to pen and colors. Now we choose this green to be our exterior wall, so we are going to make the line thickness to be 0.6 millimeters. I'm going to click on OK. As you can see, I was so confused because our line thickness hasn't still appeared yet. But then I remembered we have to activate the true line width. Right click on any point on your screen, navigate down to true line width and click on it. Once this done, I notice my plan has begun picking its roots, and that's how we all arrived at this conception. Look at what you have done. You'll be able to set your units, not just your units, but you'll be able to draw your walls, you'll be able to set grids. You equally made it look real, and you saved your work. This is more than just a drawing, it's a real house plan. In the next video, we'll be adding doors and windows to the project, and I'll show you the mistake that most people make and how to avoid them. Now it's your turn. Please support this content by hitting the like button and subscribing so you can get more tutorials on this. And equally, drop a comment. I finished my first project, the units that you used. I'll be down there in the comment section to reply to each and every of your comments. See you.